Within each and every one of us lies a hidden language. It is the language of life itself, written into the very fabric of our being. This language is not composed of words, but of chemistry. It's a beautiful, intricate symphony playing out inside our cells. We can think of this music as having different families of notes, and these families are what we call the codon rings. They are groups of chemical messengers that are deeply connected to the amino acids, the fundamental building blocks of all proteins in your body. These are not just abstract biological concepts, they're living, breathing streams of consciousness that flow through our DNA, shaping who we are from the inside out and connecting us to a much larger story. These codon rings are far more than simple chemical families. They represent deep spiritual and archetypal themes that have echoed through humanity for all time. Imagine them as mystical rivers of information, each one carrying a unique current of wisdom and purpose. As these rivers flow through our DNA, they influence our physical bodies, our emotional patterns, and even the thoughts we think. They are the invisible architects of our inner world, building the very structure of our personal reality. By beginning to understand these codon rings, we start to unlock a profound secret about ourselves, that our biology is inseparable from our spirituality, and that our bodies are sacred vessels holding the codes of the cosmos itself. Each codon ring tells a story. It is a story of evolution, of challenge, and of transcendence. These are not static codes set in stone, but dynamic energies that are constantly in motion, inviting us to grow and to change. They are the source of our greatest shadows and, miraculously, also the source of our highest gifts. When we live in fear or ignorance, these energies express themselves as limitations, creating struggle and suffering in our lives. But when we approach them with awareness and courage, they begin to reveal their true nature, transforming our deepest wounds into our most profound strengths. This journey from shadow to gift is the great human adventure, a path laid out for us within our very own DNA. So as we embark on this exploration, let us do so with a sense of wonder and reverence. We are not just dissecting a biological mechanism, we are peering into the heart of creation. The codon rings are a bridge between the seen and the unseen, the physical and the mystical. They show us that our life is part of an immense, intelligent, and loving design. They remind us that every single cell in our body is humming with a cosmic song, a song of unity and potential. By learning to listen to this inner music, we begin the process of awakening to our true nature and our place within the grand, interconnected symphony of all life. The intricate language of our DNA is composed of a truly elegant alphabet. This alphabet contains 22 distinct codon rings, each one a unique family of genetic codes with its own specific purpose and archetypal theme. Just as the letters of our alphabet combine to form endless words and stories, these 22 rings weave together to create the rich and diverse tapestry of human experience. Some of these rings govern our most primal instincts for survival, while others inspire our highest aspirations for love, creativity, and spiritual connection. They are the master keys to understanding the full spectrum of what it means to be human, from our deepest fears to our most exalted states of consciousness. Think of these 22 rings as 22 pathways of evolution. Each one represents a fundamental lesson that our species is here to learn and to master. For example, one ring might hold the secrets of prosperity and our relationship with the material world. Another might contain the codes for authentic communication and the power of our voice. Yet another might guide us through the labyrinth of our emotions, teaching us how to transform turmoil into peace. Each of us carries all 22 of these energetic streams within our DNA, but certain ones will be more prominent in our lives, presenting us with our core challenges and our greatest opportunities for growth and self-discovery. This framework of 22 rings is no accident. It is a sacred geometry that mirrors ancient systems of wisdom from around the world. Many spiritual traditions speak of 22 paths or 22 letters in their mystical alphabets, hinting at a universal blueprint for creation. The codon rings reveal that this sacred blueprint is not just a metaphor, it is a biological reality encoded within us. Our DNA is a living library, and these 22 rings are the different sections, each one holding a volume of ancient wisdom waiting to be opened and read. This discovery brings science and spirituality together, showing them to be two sides of the same magnificent coin, both pointing toward the same underlying truth. Understanding these 22 distinct purposes allows us to see our lives with a new clarity. Instead of viewing our struggles as random or meaningless, we can begin to see them as part of a larger intelligent process. We can identify the specific codon ring that is being activated in our lives and understand the lesson it is trying to teach us. This perspective empowers us to engage with our challenges consciously, knowing that they are not here to punish us, but to help us unlock a hidden gift. The 22 codon rings are our map and our guide, showing us the way home to the wholeness and divinity that has always been waiting within us. The influence of the codon rings extends far beyond our individual lives. These powerful genetic currents are the invisible threads that weave us together into families, communities, and entire societies. Just as certain codon rings are more active within an individual, they can also become dominant within a collective group. This creates shared archetypal themes and karmic patterns that define the culture and destiny of a nation or even a whole generation. We are drawn to people who carry similar or complementary codon ring frequencies, forming intricate networks of relationships that help us to learn and evolve together. Our connections are not random, they are part of a grand genetic dance. Imagine humanity as a vast, interconnected web of light. Each person is a point of light, and the lines connecting us are the energetic streams of the codon rings. Certain groups of people will naturally cluster together, their lights resonating with a shared frequency. This is why we see the formation of different cultures with unique values, beliefs, and societal structures. A society deeply influenced by the codon ring of prosperity, for instance, might be focused on commerce and material growth. Another, guided by the ring of illusion, might be caught in cycles of conflict and deception. These collective patterns are simply the sum of the individual frequencies playing out on a larger stage. These genetic groupings are not meant to divide us, but to provide a rich and diverse learning environment for the whole of humanity. Each culture, with its unique codon ring emphasis, offers a different piece of the puzzle. We learn from each other's strengths, and we help each other to see our collective blind spots. When we travel to a foreign land, we can often feel a distinct energetic flavor in the air, a different rhythm to life. This is the palpable feeling of a different set of codon rings shaping the collective consciousness. By appreciating this diversity, we begin to see how every culture contributes something essential to the great human tapestry, weaving a story of magnificent complexity and beauty. The ultimate purpose of these groupings is to lead us toward greater unity. As we evolve and raise our own individual frequency, we also contribute to raising the frequency of the groups we belong to. A family can heal its ancestral patterns. A community can overcome its divisions. A nation can transform its shadow history into a new legacy of wisdom. The codon rings show us that we are all in this together. Our personal journey of awakening is inextricably linked to the awakening of our society. As we learn to harmonize our own inner music, we add a beautiful new note to the symphony of humanity, helping to create a more coherent and loving world for all. The concept of karma has often been misunderstood as a system of cosmic punishment and reward. However, through the lens of the codon rings, we can see it in a new light. Karma is simply the genetic echo of our past actions, thoughts, and emotions, carried forward through time within these streams of chemical information. It is the unfinished business of humanity, the unresolved shadows and unlearned lessons that are passed down through our DNA from one generation to the next. These karmic patterns are not personal failings. They are collective wounds that we inherit as members of the human family, giving us the opportunity to heal what our ancestors could not. The codon rings are the very basis of this genetic karma. They are the storage houses for these deep-seated archetypal patterns. When a particular shadow frequency, such as greed or fear, becomes deeply embedded in a codon ring, it creates a powerful collective current that can influence entire civilizations for centuries. We see this in the recurring cycles of war, poverty, and prejudice that plague our history. These are not new problems. They are ancient karmic echoes reverberating through the human genome. The codon rings show us that the roots of our modern challenges lie deep within our shared biology, waiting for a generation with enough consciousness to finally transmute them. Yet, this same mechanism that transmits our collective karma is also the key to our ultimate unity. Just as the codon rings carry the shadows, they also carry the potential for the corresponding gifts. The very same energy that creates division also holds the code for communion. The frequency of fear, when raised, becomes the frequency of love. The karma of separation, when healed, reveals the truth of our inherent oneness. This is the great secret hidden within our DNA. Our greatest challenges contain the seeds of our greatest triumphs. Our collective karma is not a curse. It is a sacred trust, a promise of a future where humanity finally awakens to its unified nature. By understanding this process, we can begin to consciously participate in the healing of our world. Every time an individual chooses love over fear, courage over victimhood, or forgiveness over blame, they are not just changing their own life. They are sending a ripple of light through the entire human gene pool. They are helping to raise the frequency of the codon rings for everyone. This is how true, lasting change occurs, not through fighting the old patterns, but by embodying a new frequency. We are the alchemists who can turn the lead of our collective karma into the gold of a unified planetary consciousness. This is our power and our sacred responsibility. Among the 22 mystical streams of consciousness flowing through our DNA, there is one that holds a particularly special significance for our planet. This is the Codon Ring of Gaia. This ring acts as the very heartbeat of life on Earth, a unifying frequency that connects every living being, from the smallest microbe in the soil to the great blue whale in the ocean, and of course to each and every human. It is the biological embodiment of the planetary consciousness itself. This codon ring is chemically linked to the amino acid isoleucine, one of the essential building blocks for life. This connection is profoundly symbolic, showing us that our very physical substance is woven from the same thread that unites all beings on our world. The Codon Ring of Gaia is a master regulator of life's intricate dance. It ensures that all the different life forms on our planet can coexist in a dynamic, interconnected ecosystem. It is the invisible force that orchestrates the great migrations of birds, the symbiotic relationships between fungi and trees, and the delicate balance of predator and prey. This ring pulses with the rhythm of the earth itself, the turning of the seasons, the cycles of the moon, and the slow deep breathing of the forests and oceans. When we feel a sense of peace and belonging in nature, we are attuning our own DNA to the frequency of the Codon Ring of Gaia, remembering our place within the one great family of life. This profound connection is not just a poetic idea, it is a scientific and spiritual reality. The presence of Isoleucine and its corresponding genetic codes in virtually all life forms on Earth is a testament to our shared origin and our ongoing interdependence. The Ring of Gaia reminds us that we are not separate from nature, but that we are nature experiencing itself. The same life force that blossoms in a flower and flows in a river also flows through our veins. The health of the planet is our health. The suffering of the ecosystem is our suffering. This codon ring is a constant biological reminder that the web of life is seamless, and what we do to the earth, we ultimately do to ourselves. As humanity has become more disconnected from the natural world, we have also become deaf to the gentle murmur of this codon ring within us. This disconnection is at the root of our ecological crisis and much of our inner turmoil. The journey back to wholeness, therefore, must involve a conscious reconnection with this planetary frequency. By spending time in nature, by honoring the cycles of the earth, and by recognizing the sacredness in all living things, we begin to reactivate the Ring of Gaia within our own being. This is how we heal our relationship with our Mother, the Earth, and in doing so, we heal the deepest parts of ourselves. The Codon Ring of Gaia expresses its profound wisdom through a sacred trinity of gene keys, the 19th, 60th, and 61st gene keys. Each of these keys represents a different facet of the same core truth, guiding humanity on its journey from separation back to unity. The 19th gene key moves from the shadow of codependence to the gift of sensitivity and the city of sacrifice. It is the key that governs our relationship with all life, especially the animal and nature kingdoms. In its shadow, we feel separate and needy, seeking resources from the outside. As we awaken its gift, we become deeply sensitive to the interconnectedness of all beings, realizing that we are part of one living body. The second part of this trinity is the 60th gene key, which journeys from the shadow of limitation to the gift of realism and the city of justice. This gene key governs the very structure of life, the genetic codes that create form and boundaries. Its shadow makes us feel trapped by rules, laws, and the limitations of the physical world. However, as we raise its frequency, we discover the gift of realism, the ability to work magically within the established structures of life, patiently and persistently. At its highest expression, it becomes justice, the effortless manifestation of divine order where form and consciousness are in perfect harmony. It is the key that reminds us that even our limitations are part of a divine design. Completing this powerful trio is the 61st gene key, the journey from the shadow of psychosis to the gift of inspiration and the city of sanctity. This is the key of inner truth and the pressure to know the ultimate mystery of existence. In its shadow, the mind can become lost in a frenzy of ungrounded thinking, leading to mental turmoil. But as we learn to trust the silence within, this pressure transforms into a constant stream of divine inspiration, flooding our being with insight and wonder. The highest state, sanctity, is the realization that all of life is holy. It is the understanding that the inner truth we seek is present in every atom of creation, making every moment and every being sacred. Together, these three gene keys form a complete pathway to planetary consciousness. The 19th gene key reconnects us to the web of life. The 60th gene key teaches us how to work with the structures of life. And the 61st gene key reveals the sacred inner truth that animates all of life. They show us that to become truly sensitive to others, 19, we must first accept our own limitations, 60, and then open ourselves to the mystery within, 61. The Codon Ring of Gaia uses this trinity to gently guide humanity toward a future where we live in harmony with each other, with the laws of nature, and with the sacred truth that pulses at the heart of the universe. The Codon Ring of Gaia is the ultimate unifier. It is the biological proof that the feeling of separation is an illusion, a temporary state of consciousness that humanity is destined to transcend. This ring weaves a seamless garment of life across the entire planet, connecting every species in an intricate and loving embrace. The air we breathe has been cycled through the leaves of the Amazon rainforest. The water in our bodies has flowed through ancient rivers and vast oceans. The minerals that form our bones were forged in the heart of the earth. The Ring of Gaia is the scientific name for this sacred communion, the undeniable evidence that we are all children of one planetary mother. This deep cellular connection is the foundation for a new kind of global unity, one that is not based on political agreements or economic treaties, but on a shared biological identity. When we truly feel the frequency of the Ring of Gaia within us, our perspective naturally shifts. We can no longer see ourselves as isolated individuals or competing nations. Instead, we begin to see ourselves as cells within the larger body of Gaia. The well-being of the whole becomes our own well-being. The impulse to harm another part of the web of life fades away, replaced by an innate instinct to protect, to nurture, and to cooperate for the good of all. This shift in consciousness is already beginning to happen all over the world. People are waking up to the urgent need to care for our environment. There is a growing movement towards sustainable living, regenerative agriculture, and a deeper respect for indigenous wisdom. These are not just trends. They are the outward signs of the Codon Ring of Gaia being reactivated within the human collective. It is the planetary consciousness itself, speaking through us, urging us to remember who we are. It is Gaia's embrace, calling her lost children home, reminding us that our survival and our joy are found not in conquering nature, but in surrendering to our place within it. The unity promoted by this Codon Ring is one of profound diversity. It does not ask us to all be the same, but rather to celebrate our unique roles within the whole. Just as an ecosystem thrives on the variety of its species, humanity will thrive when we honor the diversity of our cultures, talents, and perspectives. The Ring of Gaia shows us that every being has an essential part to play in the great symphony of life. The tiny fungus in the soil is just as important as the majestic eagle in the sky. Your unique gifts are just as vital to the health of the whole as anyone else's. True unity is a celebration of our differences, woven together by the common thread of life itself. For a long time, we have believed that evolution is a process driven by external forces, a random struggle for survival where only the fittest prevail. However, the Codon Rings reveal a much deeper and more elegant truth. They show us that evolution is primarily an inner process, a conscious unfolding from within. It is not a random battle but an intelligent journey towards greater complexity, awareness, and love. The changes we see in the outer world are merely reflections of a shift that first occurs deep inside our DNA. The universe is not pushing us to evolve, it is pulling us from within, calling us toward our own highest potential. The codon rings are the engines of this inner evolution. They hold the latent potential for all future human development. Within our DNA are codes for abilities and states of consciousness that we can currently only dream of. As our awareness grows, we begin to activate these dormant codes, raising the frequency of our entire being. This is not something we have to force or strive for. It is a natural process of flowering, like a seed that contains the blueprint for the entire plant. Our only task is to create the right inner conditions, to cultivate courage, to embrace our shadows, and to trust the intelligence of life that flows through us. This inner-led evolution explains how great leaps in consciousness can occur. A single individual, by attaining a new level of awareness, can activate a new potential within the human gene pool. This new frequency then becomes available to everyone, making it easier for others to reach the same state. This is the true meaning of being a wayshower or a pioneer of consciousness. You are not just transforming yourself, you are lighting up a new pathway for the whole of humanity. Your inner work has a direct and tangible impact on the collective, helping to awaken the latent gifts hidden within our shared DNA. Your personal evolution is planetary evolution. Therefore, the most powerful way to change the world is to change yourself. Instead of trying to fix the problems on the outside, we must turn our attention inward and attend to the source. By healing our own fears, we help to dissolve the collective field of fear. By cultivating our own inner peace, we contribute to a more peaceful world. The codon rings are our intimate guides on this inner journey. They point us to the exact places within our consciousness that are ready to blossom. They remind us that the future of humanity is not written in the stars, but is encoded within our cells, waiting patiently for us to unlock it from the inside out. As we journey deeper into the mysteries of the codon rings and our own DNA, we arrive at a breathtaking revelation. We discover that the same fundamental truth that governs the tiniest particles of our being also governs the vast expanse of the cosmos. The patterns of life, the principles of evolution, and the dance of energy and consciousness are universal. The microcosm of the human cell is a perfect reflection of the macrocosm of the universe. The same sacred geometry that shapes a snowflake and a spiral galaxy is also at play within our genetic code. There is only one story, one song, one truth, expressing itself in an infinite variety of forms. This profound principle means that by understanding ourselves, we can understand everything. The inner world is not a separate reality, it is a gateway to the entire cosmos. When we look deeply into our own hearts, we find the same love that holds the stars in place. When we listen to the silence within, we hear the same creative impulse that birthed the universe. The Codon Ring of Gaia, with its trinity of gene keys 19, 60, and 61, perfectly illustrates this. It shows how the need for connection 19, the nature of form 60, and the quest for inner truth 61, are not just human concerns, but are cosmic principles woven into the fabric of existence at every scale. This awareness dissolves the final vestiges of separation. There is no longer an inner and an outer world. There is only one seamless reality. The smallest act of kindness echoes through the universe. The deepest personal insight illuminates the collective consciousness. We realize that we are not just in the universe is in us. Every atom in our body was forged in the heart of a distant star, carrying the memory of its cosmic journey. Our DNA is a living chronicle of the universe's 13.8 billion year evolution, a sacred text written in the language of starlight and chemistry. This is the ultimate destiny of humanity, to awaken to this magnificent unity, to see the face of the divine in the mirror, in the eyes of a stranger, in a blade of grass, and in the swirling nebula of deep space. The codon rings are our guides on this final leg of the journey home. They are the keys that unlock the doors of perception, allowing us to see the one life that breathes through all things. The great spiritual masters of all ages have spoken of this truth. Now science is beginning to confirm it. The journey is not about becoming something new, but about remembering the timeless, infinite, and sacred truth of who we have always been.